outside this time, and it's going to be a little bit of a soft-spoken video. But I just wanted to start off with making a quick little, fit documentary because I love fashion, and I feel like this fit just goes hard right now. So I'm gonna put down this earbud and step back so you guys can see it, but I'm also gonna use it as a thumbnail, so it's not only just for show, okay? But also, I'll make another video about fashion, of how I like it, but till then I'm not gonna talk about it really much. But I will say I love fashion, but yeah. So the mic is a little high from where I am, but that's okay. The camera is a little high from where I am too, but that's okay because look at this. Ta-da. Hopefully it stays that way. I'm sure it will. But had to burp there, excuse me. I was thinking about smoking in this video, but I don't know, because I would have to roll up, and I feel like it's a little bit of a process, but I like that process, you know? I could always go back inside and go get my kit and then come out, which is still on the table because I just started the video. But I'm out here now, so I really don't know if I want to. But as you can see on the mic from the last video, okay, we've got a new form of equipment on our mic, and it's a mic, I guess you could say cover, mic boom, I don't know. But it's supposed to block any excess noise from coming in, especially mic popping and mouth popping and like mouth sounds popping, like spit and stuff. So hopefully it'll work a little bit better, make the audio a little bit better. Yeah, the whole point of this video was for me to come out and talk about what I think is the modern pandemic of society, and how we can't escape it as of now, just because it's so prevalent in our life. And I'm not talking about disease, really, even though I think of it as a disease. But what I'm talking about is the phonedemic. That's what I call it. The phonedemic. You see, we are in a world where technology is a thing in our modern society, and nowadays people are just so caught up in it, and many people use it in many different ways, technology. And one of the pieces of technology we have created, and it's very innovative, is phones. Phones. Yes, mobile phones, not landline phones, but mobile phones, cell phones. See, we humans, we made this technology capable of holding any information that we need to know or that we want to know in our hands. We made it so we can communicate to anyone and anything across the globe within seconds with our phones. We get news from our phones. We get information from our phones. We get entertainment from our phones. We get communication from our phones. We get everything from our phones. Part of this modern society that we are in now wouldn't be the same without phones. It just wouldn't, because phones are so prevalent in our life. But the problem with phones is that we are too caught up in them nowadays, as in social media and games on our phones and all the stuff that's able to be accessed on our phone with ease now. And I believe that a mass of people in this species as humans, we are addicted to our phones. We cannot escape our phones. Some people wake up and the first thing they do is turn over and pick up their phone as soon as they wake up. And I see that as a problem. We just get so addicted to anything in our phones. And other people have different addictions within that phone that they have. Some of it could be porn. Some of it could be social media addiction. Some of it could be, I don't know, spending money on stocks, whatever it may be. But we're just addicted to our phones, combining all that together. Society would be really different without our phones. And I wonder how it would be without phones. But we don't know what we don't know. And we won't know because we are not in a society, excuse me for stuttering, a society or a universe without phones. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff within our phones that we can access and stimulate our minds with, causing us to create a lack of silence, a lack of presence because of our phones. But it's not truly the phone's fault, because the phones are used as tools. We can use phones as tools, and that's how they should be used, specifically for communication and information on breaking news that needs to be known, such as maybe wars or something, or conflicts or violence, maybe protests, whatever it may be, politics, whatever. But we need to limit how we use our phones. That's what I believe, anyways. Because we can watch movies on our phones, we can watch shows on our phones, we can play games on our phones, we can do whatever we want on our phones, making it difficult to not want to live without a phone. And I'm not saying it's difficult to live without a phone, but what I'm saying is it's difficult to live without a phone when the mind, the society that we live in, just has so much stimulation. It needs so much stimulation. Without that stimulation, society wouldn't be the same, because so many people are not caught up in the moment. They're caught up in their phones and the technology that we created. And I feel as if the technology we created sort of created this escapism for us. Because there's the moment, right? In this moment, right now. And some of you in this moment could be listening to my audio while scrolling on something or playing something, or maybe sleeping, or maybe you're just listening on this video. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to judge. But you see how that is? This video wasn't enough stimulation for those that seek that constant stimulation. So they have multiple layers of stimulation within the phone to escape the present moment. And I'm not saying people are trying to escape the present moment on purpose, because the mind will do as it pleases. And for most of the collective unconscious, the present moment is the least of their worries. They're not even aware that there is a present moment. They just see themselves as this being, as a human here, meant to keep doing instead of being. So, what can we do to help ourselves in this situation that we've created for ourselves? I believe that a solution is just to limit what your phone is used for. Specifically for me, I've deleted anything that's entertainment-wise except for Spotify and YouTube, because I do YouTube. I need YouTube to do YouTube. And I wouldn't, if I didn't have YouTube, then I wouldn't be giving you this message that I am giving you in this moment. And Spotify is for music. And sure, you could say Spotify, music is used for stimulation and for escaping the present moment. But when you're listening to music, you're not really escaping as much as you are feeding yourself of frequencies, because that's what music is. It's frequency. There can be music that can affect your frequency in a negative way or a positive way, but it's still a frequency. Music is very important because it touches your soul, and there's so much of it out there. There's so many different people with different voices and different sounds, different genres, and you can explore it. And it's art. Music is art, because someone took that creative thought, that creative frequency, and transported it through their mind into this 3D plane for people to enjoy. That's why music is beautiful, and that's why I enjoy music. But I don't use it to escape. I simply use Spotify to enjoy something that I love. If I were to use it to escape, I would be listening to it every single minute, every single second of my life, in every moment. The difference with music and visually watching something such as a movie or a TV show is that I feel as if movies and TV shows are just there to fill space. They're there to entertain you in that moment, and then when it's gone, it's gone. You could say the same about Spotify and music. But the thing with movies and TV shows is that you're not really being touched to the soul by the TV show or movie, unless it's something a movie or a TV show or some form of entertainment that you're really passionate about and it touches your soul. It's so beautiful, it touches your soul. Because I do have a favorite movie. It's a beautiful masterpiece. It's a work of art. But I don't constantly watch movies because I see movies and TV shows, as just mindless entertainment. Sure, it has a plot, it has some sort of art behind it, but in the end, you don't really get anything out of it at all, besides a little bit of entertainment in that moment. And obviously, you could say the same about music and Spotify. But people pick and choose what pleases them. Everybody has their own pleasures in life. But with movies, it's not just the audio part that's being entertained, it's also the visual part. And that's the problem I have with it, is that you're being entrapped in that space that was created. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but from further going to movies and TV shows and all that, to the phone, along with anything visual, such as movies and TV shows and all that, everything in that moment is being entrapped. Specifically the mind. Your mind is focusing on that movie, on that song, whatever it is. And I feel as if you could use that in a better, more positive manner, something that's greater than you. You could use that to be in the moment and practice being in the moment instead of sitting there entertaining your mind. Because although entertaining the mind is nice and it's enjoyable, the mind is not what we are. This moment is what we are. There's no words, there's no definition to put on what we are. We simply are. And modern society, with all this entertainment and phones specifically in the grasp of our hand, in our pocket, we can escape the moment instantaneously. Like now, I could take my phone, stop recording, and do whatever I wanted with my phone. So back to, how do we stop this? How do we fix this? How do we problem solve this? I don't feel as if this is going to be fixed anytime soon. I don't feel as if I don't see it as a problem. I'm just stating it as what I see. And it's sad to see a lot of people just in public or at home, they have a pet right in front of them. But instead of playing with the pet or petting the pet, they choose to scroll mindlessly on TikTok or Instagram or Snapchat, whatever it may be. And people can use that moment as they please, but in my eyes, that just seems as a waste of a moment. You know, you could do something that's more lively than sitting there using your time watching TikTok. You could be making something creative. You could be using yourself as a vessel for something greater than you. But we choose to watch TikTok instead. It's a shame when I go in public and I see people breaking their neck just looking down at their phone. And it's especially a shame when I see children younger than 5 years old with a iPad or a phone in their hand. And if I was a father, I would not be giving my child that young a technological device such as that. And the reason being is because nowadays children are not really children because of how people are parenting their children. And the reason why I say that is because for most parents, they're busy, right? In this system that we trapped ourselves in. 8-hour shift, get money, come back, make dinner for the kids after they've come home from school, and then you go to bed, and then you go get up and work another 8-hour shift the next day, and then the next day, and it's a process you keep doing over and over again. And sometimes parenting can be annoying for some, but that's what you signed up for. When you had a kid, you signed up to parent, okay? And I get that some parents need a break, but instead of giving a child or a toddler a phone to keep their focus on that instead of annoying you, give them something that they can do that will help them, that will make them grow, instead of something that's just corrupting their child mind at a young age. The younger generations, as in the people younger than me, they don't seem as young as they should, just because I feel like the society that we've created has corrupted the childhood part of our lives, especially with people and children that have phones and such. As a child, I feel as if you should just be living in the moment, free, and enjoying your childhood as a child. But what's a child if a child's mind is just stuck in a phone? It doesn't make sense to me, and it just seems so corrupt to me. But people and parents can do as they please. I'm not one here to criticize or judge. And I know I can't change how people parent their children, but I'm just stating my opinion. So, with this phonedemic that we have, I feel as if we can limit ourselves with how much time we use on our phones. We can discard what we don't need on our phones with what we do need on our phones, such as communication and news and such. One thing I've seen on YouTube is that people will take dumb phones, such as phones that don't have any smart technology, they can't download any external apps for entertainment and such, and then they use that phone for purposes that are meant for that phone, such as only communication and texting and phone calls. And I see that as smart, but that's not going to change how we are now. And even though I state this now, from here on now, it's just going to get, in my eyes, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse if we don't change now, because technology is never always new. It's always evolving. It's always innovating. There's always some form of new technology that's coming out. And with technology, it's going to get so advanced that we are part of the technology. And I'm not saying that's now, because I feel as if that's further along in the future from now. But I'm not thinking about that now. I'm thinking about what we can change now and how we can improve our society by changing our views on how phones should be used and how we should use our time and moments more purposely, more meaningfully, and wisely. it just seems as if it's a waste of potential when a mind is simply filled with useless entertainment. And there's so many people out there's so many minds that can be used for something greater than them, and could be something that's used for creativity that they have within themselves, but we choose not to. Just because, why would we if we have all the entertainment that we have now? Why would we when all we have to do is put our feet up and watch some movies and something that will entertain us in that moment? Yeah. That's just how I see it. But this phonedemic, it's nothing I can do. I can only state what I state and hope that maybe I spark a change within someone. But only the person can change themselves. Just like I can only change myself. No one can change me. I can be sparked within myself with change from someone else, but that doesn't mean I'm going to change. Take a sip of water. And I specifically chose to be outside and talk about this because we are outside with nature. I feel as if a good source of entertainment that's soulful and is healthy for your being as a whole is nature. Because you're outside in the moment with everything as one. There's nothing distracting you besides you. Because you are nature. That rooster in the background, or that chicken, it's beautiful. It's amazing. It's natural. It's natural entertainment. This is natural entertainment. This is what nature is. There's other ways you could use your time and moments more purposely and wisely. But that's not up to me. That's up to you. That's up to us. And if you choose to do what you do now, I don't have a problem with it. But I would like for us to choose what's best for us, because that's what's best for us. We wouldn't want anything better for us than what's the best for us. And I know that's a little hypocritical coming from me, because I do some stuff that isn't the best for me, such as smoking, and there's some video games and stuff, but you gotta find balance within this world of being and doing. And if I was to disassociate with the self that is Cameron, then all that what I do outside of YouTube would just be nothing. There would be no entertainment for anything for the self. And without that entertainment, most of what we add to ourselves is what makes ourselves. And without all that I do, there would be no Cameron. There would most likely be a Cameron, but there wouldn't be anything that Cameron does. There would just be a self of nothingness. And without that self, I would be so different from society that I feel as if I would have to escape society. I would have to go out on my own and be a monk, essentially. But I'm not. I'm choosing to stay here and live in this society so that I can share my light, my love, and perhaps maybe even spread some wisdom and knowledge, because that's what I want to do. I want to help us as a collective. And I hope that a lot of this resonates and maybe is beneficial to all of you. And if not, I can't really say sorry, because there's nothing to be sorry about. All I can say is that I just wish for the best for you, and that I love you, and that when you're ready to experience what I've experienced, it will happen to you. It would have already been happened to you. But seeing what I see just exposes what lies we've created for ourselves as humans. And I see it as a sad world. But one man can't change the world until he works on himself. And the work is never done. It's a never-ending cycle. But at least what I can do is do what I do without judgment and hope for the best for everyone. Hopefully I can help us as a whole, as one. But I feel as if that is the end of the video. I've been talking for 33 minutes, as I saw 3333 on the timer. But the time doesn't matter. What matters is how much fun I had during this. I enjoyed making this video, stating what I stated, letting flow what was flowed. And yeah. Anyways, stay present, stay safe. I love you. Peace.